Now we'll do a variation of Urdhva Hastasana with 2 blocks and a strap. So place 1 block between your feet and place 1 block between your upper inner thighs, and then hold on to the strap with your hands at shoulders distance apart and lift the strap up and overhead. Let the thighs internally rotate and the outer thighs squeeze the block. So the outer thighs squeeze the inner thighs, which squeeze the block, and then lift the low belly up off the pelvis and lift the rib cage up off the abdomen. Lift the back ribs up off of the lower back. Stretch the arms up to the ceiling. Put tension on the strap. Extend the arms and legs fully. Make lots of space and length in your body here, and let the abdomen settle back towards the anterior surface, the front surface of the lumbar spine. So let the front waist move to the back waist. As your arms move back, let the waist move back. Stand right over your arches and lengthen and breathe here. Full extension in the arms and the legs. Create an ascension of the spine from bottom to top, deep inside yourself. Deep breath here, and then lower your arms down. We'll practice a version of Tadasana with a strap. So take the strap in your hands behind your back with palms facing forward. Bend your knees, parallel legs and feet, and roll your shoulders back and down. And then straighten the legs and straighten the arms as you slide the shoulder blades down your back and lengthen the spine from bottom to top. Get long in your trunk here, long in your side ribs, and feel the whole rib cage lifting up as you slide the shoulder blades down your back. So you can feel how those shoulder blades are in a separate layer from your rib cage. And let the heads of the humerus bones go back and down. Pull the arms down and roll your palms open, keeping tension in the strap. And then exhale and release. Now we'll practice Uttanasana. And we'll use a strap here, so hold on to the strap behind your back with palms facing forward. And begin by bringing the heads of the humerus bones, or the very tops of your shoulders, back. Stand tall on 2 legs, and then bend your knees as you start to hinge at the hips to fold forward, taking the arms up and overhead. Stretch the arms towards the wrists. Pull your shoulder blades towards each other slightly and take the strap up and overhead. Let your head relax and release down. And with soft knees, think of the front of the rib cage releasing down towards the toenails. So the abdomen stays long. Breathe here as you release the rib cage down, as you release the spine and the head down. Stay active in the arms, reaching the extension of the arms towards the hands. Lift the backs of the legs. Exhale right on through the top of the head. Open and released in the back of the throat. And then lead with the arms reaching back to help you come on up. Spread wide through the collarbones. And release. Now we'll practice Ardha Uttanasana. So have 2 blocks in front of you at shoulder distance apart. Stand with your feet at hip distance apart. Thigh bones rolling in, thigh bones back. Feet are awake. Lift your spine. And then exhale and bend your knees. Crease at the hips to fold forward. And take your hands to the blocks. What you don't want to do is curl your spine and tuck your pelvis here, but rather bend your knees, lift your buttocks, Stretch the bottom front ribs forwards. Elongate through the elbows. And then maintaining this position in the pelvis with the buttocks lifting and spreading. See how much you can stretch and lengthen the backs of the legs. See how much you can open the backs of the knees. Stay grounded in the inner feet. Stretch the chest forward because there's a lengthening happening from deep inside the trunk. Breathe here. And then exhale, take your hands down to the floor, bend your knees deeper and release your trunk all the way down, head relaxing and releasing. And then bring your hands to your outer hips, stretch your chest forward, shoulders back, and come all the way up to stand. And now stand near the wall for a side stretch. So you'll be about 1.5 feet away from the wall. Start in Tadasana. And you can have your feet a little bit apart, or if you choose, you can have your feet together. Lift your arms overhead, starting in Urdhva Hastasana. Roll the thighs in, ground your thighs back, press the arms back, and snuggle the shoulder blades into the rib cage so that you're lengthening the anterior spine. And then start to press your hips out to the right as you bend your body towards the wall. And take your left hand onto the wall. Press your hips away from the wall. Grounding down through your feet, draw up through the musculature of the legs. Side bending towards the wall. And as you inhale, create more length and even walk the fingertips up the wall. Be strong and long in your legs as you side bend here. And think of the thoracic spine deepening towards the chest. So make sure this side bend is not at all a forward bend or a rounding in the back. If anything, it's more like a back bend joining with the side bend. Press the shoulder blades forward and open the right ribs towards the ceiling and maybe even turn to look up. And then press your hands off the wall to come back to center, both arms lifting, arms and legs extending, and exhale and lower your arms down. And then turn around for the other side, this time the outer right hip near the wall, and lift your arms up overhead, firm legs, internal rotation in the thighs. Lift the rib cage. Create a deep internal ascension up through the central axis of the body, which runs along the front of the spine, and then start to side bend to the right as you press your hips to the left. And you'll feel those right fingertips come to the wall, and then the left fingertips come to the wall, and walk your fingertips up the wall as you deepen the side bend and create more length. And press your shoulder blades into the rib cage. Open the left ribs towards the ceiling. Press the hips to the left. And even look up towards the ceiling. And find a sense of a back bend inside the side bend. Buttocks releasing down. Pubic bone and tailbone reaching for each other. And then push off the wall to come to center, extending arms and legs. And exhale, lowering the arms down. Now come to the wall for an arm stretch, which is also a great shoulder and neck opener. So stand one arm's length distance away from the wall. Stand in Tadasana. And place your left hand on the wall and really press your left hand print into the wall. So open fingers, open palm, and press the left thumb mound into the wall. Stretch through your elbow and let your left shoulder move back towards the back of the shoulder socket and down. Let the right shoulder move back and down as well, and lengthen up through the inner trunk. Be strong in your legs and be in a firm and steady and long mountain pose here. Press your handprint into the wall. Stretch through the elbow. Let your head balance right over your tail. Let the shoulder blades slide down the back here. And then turn your left fingertips so they point behind you. So you'll turn your hand 90 degrees to the left. Press the inner wrist towards the wall, the thumb mound into the wall. Spread your fingers. Stretch through the elbow. And again, let the heads of the humerus bones move back towards the back of the shoulder sockets and down. And as the shoulder blades pull down, the upper trapezius muscles pull down. And then turn the hand again 90 degrees so the fingertips point down. Press the thumb mound and inner wrist into the wall. Stretch through the elbow. Get long through the trunk. Lift the low belly. Ascend the spine from deep inside. Breathing here as you feel the sensations in the arm. Breathe into those sensations. And then release your arm down and turn around for the other side. Place your right hand onto the wall now. Spread your fingers. Spread the right palm and press the thumb mound especially into the wall. Extend long through your right elbow and let the right shoulder move back and down. Let the left shoulder move back and down as well, and slide your shoulder blades down your back as you find a deep ascension through the inner trunk. Breathe into the sensations in your arm. See if you can balance your head right over the tailbone, right over the arches. Spread through the fingers and press your handprint into the wall. And then turn your hand 90 degrees to the right so that your fingertips point back. And again, press the thumb mound and the inner wrist into the wall. Stretch the fingers. Open the palm. Extend the elbow fully. And let the head of the humerus bones move back towards the back of the shoulder sockets. Let the waist move back. Let the low belly lift. Let the legs be strong. You can even think of moving the upper thighs back and the upper buttocks down. Create more space lengthwise in your whole body. So lift your pelvis up off your legs, lift your belly up off your pelvis, lift the rib cage up off the belly. And then turn the arm again 90 degrees so the fingertips point down. Press the thumb mound, inner wrist into the wall. Keep extending through the elbow and be in a Tadasana position in your body. Smooth breathing here. And then release your arm down. And now bring your sticky mat to the wall for a variation of Parshvottanasana. And step your left foot forward and right foot back. Hips are square. Feet are hips distance apart. And then lift your arms and lengthen your waist up through the arms, through the fingertips. So there's a big lift of the low belly and a lift of the rib cage up. Continue to square your hips. The back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Lift up through the musculature of the legs and then hinge forward at the hips to bring your fingertips to the wall. And walk your fingertips up the wall to get longer. Pull your hips back. Engage the musculature of the legs so that the muscles of the legs lift up from ankles to knees to hips. Think of the outer left hip pulling back and think of squeezing the outer hips towards each other. And let your head release down. And then push your fingertips off the wall to come all the way up to center. Exhale your arms out to the sides and down. Hands to hips. And then come to the other side, taking the right foot forward and left foot back. Back foot is at a 45-degree angle, hips are square, musculature of the legs are engaged. And lift the arms all the way up, lengthening the waist up, lift the rib cage three-dimensionally up off of the abdomen, off of the lower back. Extended arms, open hands. Draw the muscles of the legs up from ankles to knees to hips. And then hinge at the hips to take the fingertips to the wall and walk those fingertips up the wall as you pull your pelvis back. Extended arms and legs here. Long in the trunk, long spine. Let your head release down and think of pinning your outer hips, gathering them in towards the midline. Pull that outer right hip back even more. Stay very active in your legs here. And then push off the wall to come back to center, lengthening the arms. And exhale, release the arms out to the sides and down. Hands to hips, and step your feet together. Now we'll practice Warrior One with the back heel on the wall. So set up as you see here, the right foot forward and the left heel on the wall. Square hips, feet about hips width apart. Hands on hips, lengthening the waist. Lift your arms up overhead. Lift the low belly to lift from underneath the heart, to lift from under the collarbones. Keep lengthening up through the arms, and then bend the right knee so the knee comes directly over your right heel. And press your left heel into the wall. And see if you can square the hips. Pull your right femur back to pull the outer right hip back. And let the left hip come forward so that you find yourself more square, but keep your back thigh engaged so that your back leg is very straight. And bend the front knee forward and then lift the low belly to lift the rib cage, to lift the arms, spread the hands. Make more space between your thumbs and your back heel. Pull the outer right hip back and towards the midline. And then inhale and straighten your front leg. And exhale, push your back foot off the wall to change sides. And now bring the left foot forward and step your right heel back onto the wall. Make sure that your feet are hip width apart. And then square your hips, left hip back, right hip forward. And then lengthen the sides of your waist up. Let your shoulders go back. Lift the whole rib cage. And then stretch your arms up, pulling the thumbs back, stretching the pinky fingers up. And keep pressing your back heel into the wall as you bend your front knee deeply. And then square the hips again, pulling the left femur back. Lift the low belly. And then lift your rib cage three-dimensionally upwards. See if you can find a deep internal ascension through the front of the spine. And continue that lift up through the armpits and through the extended arms, strong and straight in the back leg. Back heel presses into the wall, front knee reaches forward. And then inhale and straighten the front leg. And exhale your arms out to the sides and down. Hands to hips, and step your feet together to recover. And now we'll practice Parshva Konasana using the wall. So set up your sticky mat against the wall and have a block nearby. And then step your feet wide with your outer left foot at the wall. Heels wider than toes. Hands on hips, shoulders back. Lifted and long in the spine. Shoulder blades hugging into the rib cage. And then turn the whole right leg out. So the foot turns out and the whole thigh rotates so that the front of your right leg points towards the right. And then bend your right knee so the knee is tracking directly over the midline of the foot. Grab your block and rest your hand on the block on the inside of your right foot. Press your right upper arm into the right inner knee. And then lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. And think of the shoulder blades hugging deeper into the rib cage. Let the thoracic spine move deep into the body towards the chest. And then swing your left arm all the way across and gaze at your top hand. Press the outer left foot into the wall. Become very extended in that back leg. Left thigh bone pulls back. And then lengthen that left leg all the way through the left side of the trunk, all the way through the left arm. And firm the right butt cheek forward. So the buttocks is not at all back behind you, but firm the right buttock forward towards the groin. And then inhale, come all the way up to center, hands on hips. Move the block over to the side. Turn your feet so that they're parallel. And step your feet together. And get ready for the other side now, stepping your feet wide so the outer right foot comes to the wall. Engage your legs, lengthen your legs, hands on hips. Let the shoulders hug the back of the shoulder sockets. Let the thoracic spine move deeper into the body towards the chest, elbows back, long waist, abdomen lengthening. And then turn the whole left leg out so that left thigh is even turning out. So the thigh bone is turning in the socket. And then bend the left knee so the knee is tracking directly over the midline of the foot. Pull the left butt cheek forward towards the left groin so the buttock is not at all sinking back behind you. And then ground the right thigh back. Let the outer right foot press into the wall. And it's okay if that right hip comes forward. The right hip does not have to be perfectly flat. In fact, it shouldn't be. So that right hip can come forward a little bit of internal rotation in that right thigh, which will help the left butt cheek drop down and come under you. And then lift the right arm up. Stretch the right arm to the ceiling. Spread the wingspan. And then deepen the thoracic spine towards the chest as you swing your right arm across and gaze at the top hand. Be very long in the whole right side of your body, so stretch from the right heel to the right fingertips, getting longer there, deepening the bend in the left knee. Left knee is staying open as the left upper arm presses back against it. Left buttock dropping down and coming under you. Right thigh grounding back. And then inhale and come all the way up. Hands to hips. Feet parallel. And step your feet together. And then release your arms and recover with an open chest. And now take your sticky mat to the wall as you see here for a prasarita dog. Have your blocks in front of your sticky mat as you see, and stand with your back facing the wall. Start in Tadasana with feet together, active legs and long spine. Take your hands to your hips and step your feet wide. Have your heels a few inches away from the wall. Shoulders back, side ribs lifting, lift the low belly, thighs internally rotating, legs absolutely extended. And then hinge at the hips and lift the buttocks to start to fold forward and take your hands onto the blocks. Gather your outer ankles in and ground through the inner feet. Draw up through the musculature of the legs And pull the thighs back, pull the upper thighs back, pull the outer hips back, and press your buttocks towards the wall as you slide the blocks forward and bring your trunk into a down dog position. Slide the blocks forward and release your head down. Stretch through the sides of your body. Stretch the front of the trunk long. Pull the buttocks back and extend open the backs of the knees. Get long in the backs of your legs. Breathing here as the head releases down and the tailbone lifts up. Breathe here as you extend through the armpits and pull the thighs back. Draw up through the hamstrings. Stay active in the feet and the toes. And then pull the blocks back so they're underneath the shoulders, stretching the chest forward. Walk your feet in a little bit. Bend your knees, take your hands to hips, shoulders back, chest forward, and come up. And now we'll do a version of gate pose at the wall. So place your sticky mat against the wall as you see here, and then spread your blanket out on the mat near the wall and sit on your shins. And then lift your left arm up and place the whole left side of your body very close to the wall, standing up on the knees. And place your right foot down on your sticky mat so that your right foot is even in front of the line of the left knee. So that right leg is a little bit in front of you. And then start to side bend away from the wall. Press your left hip into the wall. And then lengthen the whole side body up and over to the right. Press the right foot down. Press the right elbow into the right inner knee to keep that knee open. And stand up tall on your left shin. So don't let the buttocks go back and down, but rather pull the buttocks forward and under you. Lengthen your spine and then side bend more to the right. Lift the buttocks up and under you. Press the left hip into the wall. And then inhale, get taller and come out of the pose. And then stretch your right leg out for a second variation. Make sure that your heel is a little bit in front of you. And then start to side bend towards the right foot. Again, keeping the buttocks reaching forward and under you, standing tall on the left shin. Stretching the left side body up and over. Right hand resting on right shin. Parigasana, like the latch of a gate. Take your body up and over to the right. Open the left ribs to the ceiling. Let the abdomen recede and lengthen. And then inhale and come all the way up, letting your left arm come up against the wall. And then move away from the wall as you lower onto your shins and take a rest. And then spin around for the other side. Stand up on your right shin and press your right foot down. Make sure your left foot is a little bit in front of you and the left knee is open. So the right arm is going up the wall. And then connect your right outer hip to the wall and start to side bend over to the left. So that left elbow is pressing back into the left inner knee to keep that knee open. Scoop the buttocks forward. Lift the front of the pelvis up. Lift the low belly. Lengthen your spine. Get longer and then go more to the side. Anchor your right hip to the wall. Anchor your left elbow to the left inner knee. And then open the right ribs and go more over to the side. Scoop the buttocks forward. Stand tall on the right shin. Lengthen and go deeper. Open the right ribs to the ceiling. Lift the low belly. Press the left foot into the floor. And then inhale and come up, walking the right arm up the wall. And start to straighten the left leg, flexing the foot. foot is very alive. Scoop the buttocks forward so it's really under you, and then start to side bend left. So make sure it's not a back bend, but rather it's a true side bend. So let that left buttock drop down and under you. Scoop the tailbone forward. Lengthen the trunk and go to the side. Left hand on left shin. Right hip pressing into the wall. Open the right ribs. Long arms, long spine. Scooping the buttocks under you. Standing tall in the right shin. Deepen your breath here. And then inhale and come up, right arm against the wall. And scoochie yourself away from the wall. Sit on shins and recover. Now we'll practice extended child's pose with 2 blocks. So have the blocks underneath your hands and come to hands and knees. Take your knees a little wider than hips, big toes are touching, and then pull your hips back onto your heels. And with extended arms, start to slide the blocks forward in space and lengthen the belly, the rib cage, the waist. As you stretch the arms even more, lengthen the armpits. Connect your hands into the blocks. Externally rotate the upper arms a little bit. And then inhale and lift your trunk up slightly and elongate the front ribs forward to lengthen the abdomen even more. Elongating those side ribs and armpits. Take the upper buttocks back and down. Pull the hips back and down as much as you stretch your spine forwards. And see if you can relax any extraneous contraction or tension. And then inhale back up to hands and knees. And now come to the floor for a posture that I call neutral. It's a supported neutral position. So make a loop in your strap and step your feet into that loop, and then place a block between the feet. And then you'll begin to tighten the strap, but leave enough space so that you can now place the other block between your knees, and then tighten the strap around the centers of your thighs so that your legs are very supported here in a neutral parallel position, thighs strapped together, block between the knees, block between the feet. So you're very parallel in your legs, and then lay down, release the flesh of the buttocks away from the low back, and reach your arms overhead along the floor, and start to breathe length up and down your trunk. Let the abdomen relax and settle and lengthen. See if you can create length in your belly. As you relax the pelvis down, let your femurs relax and settle. The femurs are the thigh bones. So let the thigh bones relax here as you're all strapped in and supported. And then change the position of the arms into more of a relaxation position. So arms more by your sides, palms facing the ceiling. Shoulder blades settled down your back. Relax here as you breathe length into your spine. Smooth, steady breath. And just feel your pelvis here in neutral. So not tucked and not arched, but there's a neutrality to the pelvis, the legs, and the spine here. And see if this neutrality can support an open breath, And so the bottom ribs open just as much as the middle and top ribs as you inhale. And exhale. And then inhale again here. And a smooth exhalation. Continue to bring your attention inside. And then bring your knees towards your chest. Remove the block. Take your legs out of the strap loop. And come out of the pose. And lay down on your back now for a supine twist. Extend your arms out to the sides. Lift your knees up over your hips. And then take your knees over to the right towards your right elbow. And rest your legs down on the floor here. And then reach the left arm to the left to increase the twist. Feel your belly rolling to the left as your legs relax more and more to the right. Have a sense of widening across the collarbones, long and wide through the arms, open hands. You can ground your arms down into the floor, lengthen the spine here, and turn the belly more to the left as you relax the legs more to the right. And then bring your legs up to the center. And take your legs over towards the left elbow, knees nice and bent. Take a moment as you settle your body here. Reach the right arm to the right to help open the chest. And let your belly recede and roll to the right as you relax your legs more and more to the left. Spread through the arms, long spine, smooth breath. Roll the belly to the right. And then take the legs back to center and feet down. Now we'll practice legs up the wall pose. Have a blanket nearby, that will be for your head. And sit down so that you're very close to the wall. So that one side of your body is very close to the wall. And scoochie your butt even closer to the wall as you lay your spine down and reach your legs up the wall. So the buttocks is very close to the wall here, and the backs of your legs are resting on the wall, heels resting on the wall. And then adjust the blanket so that the blanket is supporting your head. And relax and release here. Shoulder blades settling down the back. For a moment you can keep your toes active. Be very present here, deepening the breath a little bit, smoothing it out. Now we'll do a version of supported fish with a bolster and 2 blankets. So please set up as you see here. The bolster is horizontal, and then you have 2 folded blankets, and that will be for your head support. So lay back over the bolster so the bolster is supporting your rib cage. It's not under the lumbar spine. Rather, it's under the thoracic spine. And then pull the flesh of the buttocks away from the lower back. And the shoulders will relax into the gap between the bolster and the folded blankets, and the head will rest on the folded blankets. And start to extend and relax the legs. Let the arms relax right out to the sides. Let the abdomen settle. Let the shoulders relax here. See if the shoulders can really let go because of all of this support that's here. Let the head and neck relax because they're supported by the blankets. Let the upper torso relax as it's supported by the bolster. Let gravity have an effect on the shoulders, releasing and relaxing. Slow down your exhalations here. Stay very present in this moment inside yourself. Observing whatever arises. Smooth inhalation, smooth exhalation. And then start to come out of the pose by curling onto your right side. Now we'll practice Supta Baddha Konasana. So place your bolster lengthwise on your sticky mat. And then you can place a folded blanket onto the bolster as you see here. And now also grab 2 blocks and have 1 block on either side of your mat. That will be the support for your knees. So sit down with your back facing the bolster and adjust the buttocks so that you pull the flesh of the buttocks away from the bolster and towards your feet. And then elongate yourself as you lay back over the bolster and adjust the blanket so that it's supporting your head. And now let the soles of your feet come together and open up the knees. And let the blocks support you underneath your shins and thighs. And take a moment here to make sure that the flesh of the buttocks is pulling away from the lower back, to adjust the shoulder blades so that they're sliding down your back, and to adjust the blanket so that it's giving you really nice support underneath your neck and head. And then let your arms open out to the sides in a Shavasana position with palms face up. And let your next exhalation be very gradual, slow, smooth. And follow that exhalation all the way to the end. And then let your mind observe the inhalation, full, complete, nourishing breath. And then as you breathe here, perhaps let the arms slide up a little more so that they're at around the shoulder height. You can play with it and find an arm position that feels really good to you today. Deepening your breath here, relaxing here. Relax into the support of the blocks and the bolster and the blanket.